Hey everyone, this is Dave from Some Memories. Welcome back to my channel. In this review, we're talking about 3 semi-bespoke fragrances from the house of Roja Parfums. So if you want to know more about those, what they smell like and what they are, don't go away. So welcome back to my channel, everyone. As always, before I actually begin the review, if you haven't already subscribed, I would love it if you can do so just by clicking that subscribe button down below and that bell. That when I do upload a new video, you'll be the first to know about them. So what are Roja semi-bespoke fragrances? They are in a part or a collection of the Roja Parfums repertoire. They are exclusive to the Roja Dove Haute Parfumerie in London. And as opposed to, let's say, the retail line like Creation E, Pour Homme, or Danger Pour Homme, or Elysium, the semi-bespoke fragrances are a set number of bottles they produce per year. So once they run out of that, or once they sell out for the year, and then they remake a new batch, so to speak, for the next year. So they're not really truly bespoke like they make it for you, but they are a limited number of bottles that it's created for the year. And again, they are exclusive to Roja Dove Haute Parfumerie. They are more on the expensive side, so traditionally or retail, you pay about £750 per bottle. For the triple set, which I'll show you in a little bit, those are 3 bottles per order. Those run about £1,600 to £1,700. With a discount, they usually run a discount per year, a couple times per year, 10% off. Those bottles run you about individually about $500 something, $550 USD, and then for the triple set, it's about $15 to $1,600 USD. So it's still extremely expensive, but it is a little bit more affordable. So let's talk about the presentation. These come in 2 kinds of presentations. One is just a standard single box that I can show you in another review, and the other one is what we call a cave. And I'm sorry for the reflection. It comes in this kind of triple set cave here. You can see that it has a gold and black inlet here, or outlay on the box here, which is a really beautiful design. It has Roja Dove Haute Parfumerie, and then in the inside you can see it has a black inlet here, which the bottle sits in. So once you actually open it up for the first time and the bottles sit there, it's a really beautiful presentation. This is the older style box. Actually, they just released a newer style presentation late last year. They have a different bottle design, different box design, which I will be displaying in a future video. And the 3 fragrances that I'll be talking about today have an older style presentation. So let's talk about the actual fragrances themselves today. Today we're talking about 3 specific semi-bespokes from my collection. The first one is going to be from the, of course, semi-bespoke line. This is one that is really, really polarizing. Either you really love it or you really hate it. There's really very little in between. If you love notes like vetiver, dry vetiver, oud, if you love kind of dark, earthy patchouli, if you love, dry cypress, that's what this is going to be all about. If you like boisterous, bold, domineering, dark fragrances, this might be up your alley. So this is going to be Roja Dove's Semi-Bespoke 14. I don't know if you can see that, but you can see 14 right there. And you can see this is the older style presentation, even older than some of the ones I'll show you later on. This doesn't have a plaque at all in the front. This actually has a little chip you can see here. Shout out to my boy, my friend Martin Bick. He gave me a great price on this one, so he's a great guy in the community. And also a big shout out, a huge shout out to my PC family. Much love to all of you guys who are also big Roja supporters like myself. So much love to all you guys. So what is Semi-Bespoke 14? Let's spray. And I should mention this is Chypre. So this was a Chypre launch in 2017. The nose is Roja Dove, and this is one again that's going to be very much love it or hate it. So right off the bat, this is like smack in your face, dry, earthy cypress mixed with this dark, earthy, dry vetiver. It's not green, it's not clean, it's not really any kind of clean vetiver like you get in Tom Ford's Grey Vetiver. It is very dry, it's very earthy, it's not the most mass appealing vetiver. There's a very short-lived bergamot that's it's very lively, it's very energetic, but it's very, very short-lived. And right off the bat, you're met with this astringent, harsh cypress and vetiver mixed with this and paired with this somewhat animalic patchouli. It's not overly barnyardy, but it is a little bit skanky. I'm sorry, barnyardy oud. It's a little bit on the I'd say slightly animalic oud side. It's not super prominent, but it pairs with that cypress and the vetiver very, very well. It makes this a very kind of very masculine, extremely bold fragrance. It's not for the faint of heart, so if you don't like notes like dry vetiver and cypress and a little bit of oud, this may not be for you. And then you have patchouli. The patchouli here is damp, it is earthy, it's not sweet, and then by no means is it green. There's very little green in this kind of fragrance. It has a little bit of saffron. The saffron here is slightly soft and leathery. It's kind of just balancing out those dark, harsher notes of cypress and vetiver and oud. And then you have a little bit of ambergris here, and the ambergris here is actually rather prominent as it's drying down from the base, or rather the top to the heart to the base. It adds a little bit of airiness, a little bit of softness, and it kind of softens up that dense, harsh opening. This is a very harsh, thick fragrance. It's not super rounded. It does kind of subdue a little bit as it's drying down, but it still remains pretty harsh. The patchouli comes through more as it dries down with the oud, but the vetiver is still very much a dominant player here. This is predominantly a cypress, vetiver, and oud fragrance. Honestly, out of all my Roja fragrances that I own, this is my least favorite. I never really reached for this one. It's just, I don't love dry, earthy, dark vetiver, and I don't love, dark patchouli paired with vetiver like this and oud. I prefer something a little bit more counterbalanced with like nuances or nuances of fruity accords, ambery accords, things like that make it a little more balanced out. This is rather linear. It's harsh. It has a decent longevity, so I get about 6 to 7 hours on my skin, and it projects for about an hour, but I don't wear this one that much. I would say this one is not the best office scent or casual fragrance. I would say more for dress-up occasions, but of course, wear what you want, when you want, and how you want. But this is one that I'm not a huge fan of, so that's very domineering, very bold. So that's Semi-Bespoke 14. The next one is going to come from, this is the one. Now the next one, if you're a rose lover, if you love the note of rose, this may be right up your alley. Now, I didn't love rose in my fragrance journey. I didn't love the way that rose sat on my skin or how it smelled, how it developed, like many of us. But as my nose developed over time, I started appreciating rose more and more. Now, this one has become one of my favorite rose-based fragrances, but it also has a nice, darker, oriental base paired with the rose. So it's something that you might really like. And this one is Semi-Bespoke 21. And you can see here that Roja did in fact sign it. So thank you, Roja, very much for signing it. I really appreciate that. So this has a newer style presentation, not the newest, but a newer style presentation, the one before the newest one. And it does say Roja Dove Haute Parfumerie on the front here. You can see it does say Semi-Bespoke Parfum. And then, of course, in the back here, it should say the number of the fragrance. Now, the caps themselves on all of these Semi-Bespokes are really nice. They're actually very well made. They're thick plastic or thick metal. They're solid material, so the quality of the bottles is really good. Now, what do we get with this one? The sprayers on the Rojas, on all Rojas, Semi-Bespoke, Pierre de Valais, your regular retail Rojas, they're all excellent. So the sprayers are going to be really good. Oh man, I really love this opening. I really love this opening. So it's a bright bouquet of grapefruit and mandarin orange. It's just a very lively, energetic opening, which is short-lived, because what this fragrance is really all about in the heart is that rose. There's a rose de mai here, which is, it's a little bit fruity, it's a little bit clean, slightly green, and it's paired with this rock rose, which is a little bit powdery, a slight touch exotic, paired with this jasmine, which is green and lavish. So you get a lot of florals in the mid here, but this is predominantly a rose-based heart. I love the way that the rose de mai and rock rose play with each other with jasmine. And then you have this lily of the valley, which is slightly spicy and kind of gives off hints of lemon, with a little bit of heliotrope, which is a bit airy, a bit vanillic, as heliotrope tends to be, which is adding a very floral base here, which I actually really love. I love the way the base kind of meanders from top to heart. But as it starts drying down, you get this slightly darker oriental base here with leather and cypriol oil or Nagarmartha, which gives it a kind of a herbaceous, leathery feel on the base, paired with oak moss, which gives us I would say slightly inky nuances of, or hints of musk and amber. And those pair really well, those leathery, herbaceous notes pair really well with labdanum. Now labdanum is something that Roja uses in a lot of his fragrances. It's one of his most key or prominent used raw materials. It's giving this a bit of a ambery, leathery feel paired with that cypriol oil and that oak moss. So it's pairing really well together. Now, what I love they used here, they used the note of juniper berry. Now, juniper berry is kind of fruity. It's a bit piney, it's a little bit sappy, and it balances out those darker notes of labdanum, of the oriental feel of leather, of cypriol oil. It gives it a really, really nice balance, because otherwise it might be too dark and it might overshadow those rose notes and those, you know, middle floral notes, which I love. And this is, I think that's the main star of this fragrance. And then it has a little bit of vanilla. The vanilla adds a slight touch of sweetness. And again, adding a layer of complexity, adding another layer of depth here, not overshadowing anything, but just all really well blended, extremely smooth. Just a melody of wonderful notes here, which I love. Oh, I love this one. Now this one lasts on my skin for at least 10 hours. I mean, I get 10, 12 hours on my skin easily. It's a good projector. It projects for at least 2 hours on my skin. Now you can wear this one dressed up, definitely dressed down, casual settings. You can wear it to work if you like wearing rose-based fragrances. You can definitely wear it in a dressed up occasion, to a nice dinner or a wedding or an event or something sophisticated. So I think this definitely has that air of elegance and regalness, or regality, I should say, which I really think this one is wonderful. So that is Roja Semi-Bespoke 21. Now the last one is my favorite of the three. Now this one is one that I picked up last year. I've been wearing it a lot in spring and summer. I love wearing this one in spring and summer. This is what would become one of my top 15 Roja Dove fragrances. And this one is going to be Roja Dove Semi-Bespoke 22. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see. So you can see 22 there. Now, if you're a fan of aldehydes, if you love clean, smelling like luxury soap, if you love smelling like a really fresh out of the shower kind of fragrance, this really might be for you, but taken to a very sophisticated level. Now, this is one that I think you can absolutely wear dressed up or dressed down, but I freaking love this one. Let's smell it. I wear this one when I go grocery shopping, when I just do errands. I've worn this one to weddings. I've taken a small decant with me and, you know, just sprayed on a couple of spritz. It lasts literally all day. I mean, I've gotten at least 16 to 18 hours on my skin. It's super long lasting. Oh my God. I love this one. So right away you get this petitgreen here. It's kind of a bitter green petitgreen, and it pairs really well with this galbanum. Now the galbanum here it's a little bit green. It's balsamic. It's paired so well with that petitgreen, adding a kind of a bitter green balsamic opening. Sort of almost grassy, like fresh cut grass. And then you have this big aldehyde. Now the aldehyde here is the star player of this fragrance. I personally love aldehydes. I didn't used to when I started my fragrance journey. I actually didn't like them at all, really. But if you love aldehyde notes, if you love fragrances with aldehydes, like Xerjoff's Pico Valderrama or Fragrance du Bois Heritage, like I love those too, this is gonna be right up your alley, because this is really big on aldehydes, which adds a really clean, fresh, kind of laundry smell, expensive soap smell. Oh God, I freaking love it. It's absolutely phenomenal. And it's paired with, again, that petitgreen and galbanum, but also oak moss, which adds a little bit of this green sylvan aspect to the fragrance, also giving a green feel as it's drying down. So as it opens up, you get this big kind of bitter green note, and then you get this wonderful aldehyde, which stays with you for the life of the fragrance. But then it starts getting a little more green, but the aldehyde is always there. It's never leaving. It's always kind of adding that aldehydic note with that green aspect or that green element to the fragrance. And you get this bit of clary sage, which is adding a little bit of this herbaceousness here, a little bit of spiciness with a touch of orris in the base as it's drying down. Just a little bit of powderiness. By no means this is a powdery fragrance. It is definitely unisex, but the orris root is adding just a touch of powderiness, a little bit of muskiness, and just giving it accents of a different flavor, just adding a touch more complexity and another layer of fragrance here. Oh, it's exceptional. I love this one. This one absolutely lasts on my skin, you know, again, 15, 16, 18 hours. It lasts all day long. I only have to spray it in the morning. If I wanted to reapply it, I can, but I don't have to. It projects, that scent bubble around me, I smell it, you know, pretty much all day, but it pushes off my skin for the first 2-3 hours easily. But again, you can wear it dressed up or dressed down. It is an absolute gorgeous fragrance. And I should have mentioned, these are all Chypre fragrances. So all of these are Chypres. I believe they were all launched in 2017 or around 2017. So these are going to be, if you like Chypres, this might be right up your alley. If you don't, I think you should definitely sample these, because some of these might be absolutely something that you might love to add to your fragrance collection. Personally, out of the three, Roja Dove Semi-Bespoke 22 is my favorite. So those are my review. That's my review of Roja Dove Semi-Bespoke 14, 21, and 22. I would love to know your thoughts. What do you like about semi-bespoke fragrances? Have you tried them? Which ones are your favorites? And out of the three we talked about today, which ones do you love? Which ones don't you like at all? And which ones do you really want to try? I would love to know your thoughts. As always, thank you all so much for watching my channel and watching my reviews. It means the world to me. It truly does. As always, stay safe and take care of each other. Bye, everyone.